Hi, and welcome to the Terrace. I'm Caitlin Henry, former corporate buyer, chronic Pinterest scroller, and someone who has a furniture wish list way longer than she's willing to admit.
And I'm Sam Brooks, co-host, co-obsessor, and the person Caitlin calls if she needs to be talked into or out of a furniture purchase, usually in.
The Terrace is our corner of the internet for people who truly love their homes or desperately want to. We're going to talk design, trends, beautiful things, and the real decisions you make when you're trying to build a space that you love.
Think less design lecture, more wine with your most design-obsessed friends. Pull up a chair.
Let's get into it.
Okay, we have a big topic this week. Do you want to tell our listeners?
Huge topic. Yes. So today's topic is the big beige breakup. And we're going to discuss Millennial Beige. Is it timeless or time-stamped? And our biggest millennial crimes. Like, what's our POV?
And we have a lot to say here. And I think we actually might go back and forth a little bit. So I'm very excited for this combo. Okay, so should we start with our crimes since you mentioned it?
I think so. Let's just get out our dirty laundry.
I do think we should air it out because I'm sure we have all been there.
We have.
And also, I am the first to say, and I'm going to put it out here first, I don't think that Millennial Beige is time-stamped. I think there's a time and a place for it. Do I think it got completely overdone and people really lost themselves in the sauce? Absolutely. Now, my largest crime would be in the area of rugs. When I lived in Seattle, my entire second floor had beige carpet. And so one would think, oh, there's a lot of beige elsewhere. I should depart from this.
Mm-hmm.
But what did I do downstairs? I bought 3 beige rugs for my living room, my dining room, my hallway. What was I thinking?
We've all been there.
And obviously in a rental, the walls are beige. So I definitely over beiged. And when it comes to rugs, beige is not really where you want to be. You know, you have to clean them a lot. You have to take care of them a lot. Wool rugs were also very big in this time frame, and wool rugs are extremely difficult to clean. Pouring the boiling water through it, you can't use spot cleaner, just a lot of maintenance. So I think that was my biggest crime is like over investing in beige rugs.
Do you like a jute rug though? Like, I feel like a jute rug, it is kind of beige usually, but I love that it brings like some texture to a space, and you can also layer it really well.
I don't consider jute beige, I don't think,
Okay,
because
that's
I
good
think
to
it
know.
has a lot of like brown tones. I think when I'm thinking of the Millennial Beige, I'm thinking of like those houses. I mean, what was really the origin story of this Millennial Beige? Like, where did it come from? I feel like it really popped off when Kim Kardashian's house got featured.
Minimal monastery.
Yes. And then all of a
Yes.
sudden it was like, my house needs to feel that serene. I need to have absolutely nothing in it. My kids' toys can only be Montessori wooden blocks
Yep.
because they need to be beige, and like we just can't have color at all.
Yep.
Although I think the trend had begun earlier than that, because I think there is something. I read an article and it was about how millennials like leaned toward this like beige serene space because the parents' generation had a lot of colors. Do you know this article?
Have you seen the memes where it's like, we are millennial beige because this is what we grew up with in the 90s, and it's a picture of 90s home with just a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And that made me giggle.
Exactly. Every room being a different color, lots of big patterns. So I think people did yearn for a different type of serenity in their homes, and beige brings that. And I think it brings a lot of, it's a very versatile color. So that's why I think it's definitely not going away, but we're pairing it back to where it really suits the space.
Yeah.
What's your crime?
So my biggest crime, well, maybe if for our listeners, if they're not familiar with Millennial Beige, we can maybe just give them a quick little visual. So
Oh, sorry.
think about, no, I think this is good. Like, we went right into it. But if you are kind of wondering what Millennial Beige is, think about, you can probably just Google Kim Kardashian's home, like we just talked about. Her and Kanye's home was like this minimal oasis. Think about somebody's home with just light carpets, light wood, boucle sofas.
So much boucle. I actually never bought boucle. I would like to go on record.
I'm proud of you because as we sit here, I'm looking at my boucle dining chairs from CB2, but that's okay. I still love them. But just think about boucle, beige, and then if I can put it in maybe commercial lens, you've all been to a coffee shop where it's all light wood. The cash wrap is light wood. The furniture is light wood. there's probably a neon sign that says, "But first coffee."
Yeah. And there's the slat board that
Yes.
has kind of the individual, kind of like a
Yes.
light box of all of the
Exactly.
coffee offerings.
Yes, that is what we're referencing with Millennial
Mhm.
Beige. And Sam made a good point. There's like a lot of children's toys and like a lot of children's product that is now very like beige. And I think again, people were looking for some sort of serenity in their home. I think that for me, I think Millennial Beige started in like the 2010s, but then it had its peak in 2020 during the pandemic when everyone just like was seeking some sort of serenity and solace in their own home. But we can more on that later. My biggest millennial crime. I have many, but the one that really comes to mind is it's the all white bedding with a light wood framed bed. And then I had a amber interiors rug in my underneath it in my bedroom, and I'm just giving everyone a visual. Floor to ceiling windows. It just feels very every influencer day in the life. It kind of looked like that. They all looked the same.
Well, and also a lot of people didn't have plants either. When you think about the coffee shop, they have plants, but instead they had pampas.
Yes.
Do you remember the
Yes, I
pampas? Oh my
do.
God, they were everywhere. Instead of plants, we had fake pampas fronds or whatever they were. And they
Yeah.
got so dusty.
So dusty.
Like, and people acted like they loved them. They actually fell away kind of fast. God bless.
Yeah, that was a flash in the pan. It's very memorable.
Yes.
Very memorable. But I think when I think about like Millennial Beige, I had like a colorful rug, but just the formula itself just felt very millennial. And I'm not saying that's bad because I really loved it in the moment.
Yeah.
But it was something that was out there and you saw a lot and it was very saturated. But I think that Millennial Beige for me, I don't think is a timestamp. I agree with you that I do think it is timeless in the right way. I think I have a lot of empathy for Millennial Beige because it's really Millennial Beige was a coping mechanism to all of the anxieties that millennials have dealt with over the past 15 years. If you think about it, millennials have been through the financial crisis. They've been through the housing market crisis, general anxiety and feelings of doom. I completely understand.
Feelings of doom.
I completely understand why you would want to come home and just live in this like serene oasis. And I do think that Millennial Beige is a product of its own success. I might even go as far to say it's a victim of its own success.
Yes.
Because it became so saturated. Obviously, it's going to have some backlash. It's going to have a timestamp and people are going to call it a trend. I think that also begs the question, is anything that becomes saturated a trend that people get over and becomes a part of the cycle? But I think we need to give Millennial Beige a little bit of grace. And it's a good foundation. It's a good jumping off point. And then you can kind of make it into whatever you want.
And when do you think the death of it occurred? Because I think it's when that TikToker made the sad beige mom video.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, then people really looked inward. Am I a sad beige mom?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were like, crap.
Yeah,
yes.
This is me.
And even just sad beige in general. Obviously, completely unfair that they put it on moms. But any of us, we weren't picking something because then we couldn't have one piece of color because then it would stand out because everything else was beige. So I think that while the hype was like MK, it fell off kind of quickly after that because of the TikTok discourse and the social media discourse around everyone making everything sad, beige, afraid of color, lack of personality. I think the original TikToker is a Gen Z influencer, and Gen Z is very much in the expressing their individuality. They want unique decor pieces. They want something that no one else has. They feel like they really need to establish a space that's their own, and they're not as susceptible to trends, but instead kind of adopting their own micro trends and making it part of their personality. Or at least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's like really interesting. I think it probably would have lasted a little longer if Gen Z didn't push against it as hard as they have.
I agree. There's been such a cultural debate between millennials and Gen Z. And for the most part, it's like very entertaining and fun to watch and participate in. I love that Gen Z is full of color and pattern. And I think the rise of dopamine decor and color drenching, pattern drenching is a lot in part because of their affinity for it. I also honestly surprised myself by saying that I wanted to defend Millennial Beige
Yeah.
because, especially being a buyer at Anthropologie, and pattern pulses through my veins.
Yes.
And I love it, and it is part of my personal style. But I've been through Millennial Beige. I still have beige in my own home in certain areas, and I do think that it's a great way to start a foundation, and it's a jumping off point.
Yeah. What is your favorite current beige item? Let's talk now. You just said we still have it. So what is your big beige right now?
So my big beige. So are we talking paint colors? Are we talking item?
Whatever it is in your house that you think is the millennial beige you're keeping around.
Okay. I have two things. One is I actually just repainted my living room into a beige because I thought it was a nice grounding
So you
color.
painted your apartment.
I painted my apartment. Yes, I live in a rental, but I painted it a beige, not only because I felt like the beige was going to be a really good jumping off point for all of the print and pattern I'm going to be injecting, my curtains, et cetera. But I also felt like it was a small enough livable change that my leasing office wasn't going to make me repaint it.
Yeah, like they wouldn't even notice probably.
I don't think that they will.
No, they won't.
And so I swatched a ton of different colors. And to be honest with you, I swatched a lot of bright fashion colors like Parma Gray by Farrow and Ball. But I ended up having a tie between Stony Ground and Roasted Macadamia by Farrow and Ball. Both are Farrow and Ball. Because I live in a rental, I didn't want to pay Farrow and Ball pricing for a temporary home. So what I did was I went to Benjamin Moore and I asked them to match the sample I had of Farrow and Ball Stony Ground. And for all of our listeners, if you choose to do that, because it can be a bit of a savings hack, make sure that you swatch it because they don't always match. And what happened was my Benjamin Moore sample that they made for me that was supposed to look like Stony Ground, Farrow and Ball, ended up looking more like roasted macadamia. So I was like, it's fine. I like both. And so that's the color of my wall right now. And I love it.
This wall.
Yes, this wall we are looking at right here. And it's going to be a really great foundation for the burgundy patterned curtains that are on their way to me right now. So that was my first beige that I'm going to keep around. My second beige is a piece of furniture. And if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I constantly talk about Maiden Home. And Maiden as in fair maiden, like Maiden home. It's a brand that is completely underrated and all of their upholstery is made here in the US. And we're sitting on a Maiden Home sofa right now. It's called the Dune sofa. And I got this secondhand.
No way.
Yes. And it has held up incredibly well. And I do love that it is a beige, like it's a linen beige. It's like a thicker texture and it's a performance fabric. And I absolutely love this sofa. I think that if I were to buy another sofa, I might buy the same sofa and maybe just
that's an endorsement.
A mocha color. Yeah. That's how much I love Maiden Home. They have so many incredible sofa options. And so I would definitely, this is going to stay for a while. I absolutely love it. So
it's very comfortable for our viewers.
And it's everything I want in a sofa. It's a slip cover, but it's still structured. It has, all of these throw pillows that are really fun to play around with. So, big fan. It's beige. It's going to stay around.
Mine's so similar to yours. It is paint color as well.
What is it?
Sherwin-Williams Pediment is the color.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with it. I've painted every house with it. It was actually the paint color for my very first rental. So I know it's kind of a color that's used for its versatility. It is a greige taupey color. It has some warmer undertones with it as well. The reason why I love it is because depending on what you put next to it, the color, you can definitely bring out some of the cooler undertones or bring out some of the warmer undertones. And that's been my favorite thing about it. Whenever I move into a new place, I would like to paint all the walls and I don't want to a different color for every room yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. Obviously, we've talked about how a home is built over time. So this is my foundation color. I don't know what I'm going to do with a space yet. It's going to be in this color first. And so when I bought my house, all the walls were light blue. I'm pretty anti light blue as a paint color. It's a little too cool toned for me.
I am with you on that 100%.
Yeah. And so I don't find that there's a lot you can do with it. And so my entire house was light blue. I kept the light blue in the kitchen actually because I liked it. Every other room in my house I painted in this Pediment color by Sherwin-Williams.
I love.
And I'm obsessed with it. The one other room is my husband's office. We picked out a great like greeny, like kind of forest green, but a little more sage in tone. And he loves it. I feel like it's a elevated vintagey Eagles green kind of. It's a small room, so you can
You are
paint.
speaking the language of fellow Philadelphians.
It's a small room, so you can paint it a bright, or not even a bright, a darker color or a more dramatic color, because I think it doesn't feel like a huge, if you painted this whole room one dramatic and impactful color. So that's fun, but really I just love this color because it works with a lot of the like black, white, and neutral. It's softened by like burnt orange I have a lot of, and so I feel like that brings out the warmness of it and gives it like that brown tonal. So I don't know, I'm obsessed with this paint color. Me and my twin sister had bought a house in Philly years ago, I think in like 2018, 2019, and we had painted it all this color because we had moved out of our previous apartment and we had saw that paint and we were like, we don't know what paint color, like what choice to use, and we were like, we loved the paint in our first apartment, so like, let's just do that, paint that whole house that color. It is just so versatile, and that's why you're never really going to find me hating on beige as a paint color, because so much can change. You want to, and I like to change my decor a lot. We like to pitter around, we like to move things around. So when you paint, you really have to absolutely love a dramatic paint color in a room in order to adopt it. And so I don't know, I'm all about the beige wall to have versatile decor.
Honestly, I am too. I think dramatic paint colors can look so beautiful editorially, but in an everyday home, sometimes I feel like it is really difficult to pull off. I also love a neutral wall because it also gives me a lot of freedom to do a fun wallpaper. And I love a wallpaper. But wait,
that's why I thought you actually were gonna not be loving the paint, as because I know you love wallpaper.
I love wallpaper.
And so I know you have passion for bringing more of that like print and things like that and making it more exciting. So I thought you were going to be like, oh, you painted your whole house the same color beige.
I know.
But honestly, I did it.
Surprise myself here. Surprise myself. But it's a great foundation. And then it allows you to have so much fun in so many other ways. I also feel like we should tell our listeners that you and I are both twins.
Oh my God.
Like, you have a twin sister and I have a twin sister.
I totally forgot about that. It is wild. Oh my God, yes.
My life has been surrounded by twins. Like, I'm a twin, you're a twin. I met you early on in my career and you've been a pillar in my life ever since. My husband's mom is a twin as well.
My husband has twin sisters.
It's crazy.
My first friend in Seattle is a twin. Shout out Brooke and Brittany. They were so supportive of the pod.
So great.
I know they're gonna listen.
Thank you, Brooke and Brittany.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like twins like gravitate towards each other. I swear. There's like something in the water. I would love to have twins.
I hope to have twins someday.
Yeah, I love my relationship with my sister. I just like totally like,
it's so special.
And it's interesting how different she would say that she believes in beige, but our actual like design tastes are really different too. Yeah. It's so funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
So can I go on a quick tangent really
Absolutely.
quickly? So I want to talk about a piece of furniture that I think is also a pillar of Millennial Beige that I really want everyone to free themselves from the shackles of the RH cloud sofa.
Yes. Free yourselves.
Free yourself from those shackles. There are so many other amazing sofas to choose instead of the RH cloud. There are so many friction points to it. The first one being, I think it's very expensive for what it is.
Yes.
And then the second being is you're constantly fluffing it. And isn't the idea of luxury something that you don't have to constantly tend to?
Yes.
I feel like it is lumpy. It's oversaturated at this point. And there are so many other great sofa choices from other retailers out there that are going to be so much better. They're going to last longer. If you comment on our Instagram, I will personally send you a DM of my top 5 other choices for the RH Cloud. But I think it is a time-stamped piece.
I mean, sure. Bob's Discount Furniture has a version of it now. Yeah. You know, like if you're still paying for the RH Cloud sofa, that's a little embarrassing. Yeah, you can definitely get a dupe of it and you'll have to do just as much maintenance on it, unfortunately.
100%. I'm glad we agree.
But it's definitely one where like the idea is there, but the actual like livability of it and functionality of it is not
there. Yeah. Not there. I mean, I could go on a tangent about like why and what your sofa should be filled with, but I don't know if I need to get that technical right now. But just know that there's other options and you can definitely shop around.
Yes, absolutely. It was definitely a cornerstone. But the cloud sofa reminds me of, I feel like the color was more than just beige. It was more of a white color.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's talk about actually, while Millennial Beige is having its downfall,
Yeah.
Pantone still decided to pick their color of the year as Cloud Weaver, correct?
Cloud Dancer.
Cloud Dancer, excuse me.
Cloud Dancer. And I'm just as upset about it as you.
I mean, color of the year, it's white.
I think that choice came 4 years too late. And when they made that announcement, they made a statement about how everyone is looking for an escape. Everyone is looking for more serenity. But I think that was 4 years ago during the pandemic. And right now, everyone's really loving dopamine decor, color
maximalism.
drenching, maximalism. That is on the rise, and everyone needs a pick-me-up. And I was so surprised to see Cloud Dancer
And
as
it's
their choice.
disappointing. I feel like Pantone's like losing its,
They're losing their luster.
Yeah, well, like losing their status almost in that as a select. You have to be on the pulse.
Yeah, it felt very out of touch.
Wasn't pulsed.
Yeah. We can go on the record on this podcast and say that we do not agree with Cloud Dancer as Pantone of the year.
But do you know what you would have picked instead?
Yes, I do. So I have been really drawn to a lot of dusty blues recently. I think it's a cross between a French blue, which is pretty bright, and something that feels a little more rooted in a cool tone. And I think this goes for both walls, like paint colors, and then also I feel like I've been seeing so much dusty blue, like cornflower blue upholstery. I think that's going to be the next upholstery color, kind of like how burgundy and mocha have been having their moment for the past like 15 months. But I do think that I've been seeing a ton of editorials with cornflower, dusty blues. The founder of Diet Prada just had his home featured in World of Interiors, and he has Parma Gray by Farrow and Ball, which is where I got my inspo, all over his walls. And then he had, beautiful blue upholstery. And there's been several editorials that I've come across that have that. And I do just feel like that's trending. And it's kind of a nice middle ground between doing something really wild, a burgundy wall, or a super dark, like forest green, and back to our Millennial Beige. Like, I think it's like a really nice kind of middle ground to experiment with. So that's what I think the color should have been. It should have been like a cornflower blue.
It's so interesting because even if they had picked the burgundy or mocha that you were just discussing, I think it would have been more relevant than Cloud Dancer.
Yeah, I agree. Since we're already talking about Millennial Beige, we've talked through like some of our favorite beige colors. What are some statement colors that you would put in your own home?
Yeah, I mean, it's so amazing that we have Farrow and Ball and Backdrop and these companies that are actually showing us like the paint color. It's so easy to get completely overwhelmed in Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever place you're going to look for paint. I personally love Backdrop as well.
Yes.
I think they always have really fun colors. They have super fun collabs.
They feel so modern.
Yes,
like
they just did a Madewell
company.
one. They obviously did Barbie. Like they do so many fun ones that I'm coveting. Like on that case, they're like 36 hours in Morocco. Is it in Marrakesh? No, it's in Morocco.
Okay. One of the M's.
Yeah, somebody pull up the paint color, but it's like a super fun, like peachy pink, like sandy terracotta. And I love it. I love terracotta. I love burnt orange. So that's definitely a color that I'm super like, it feels like a neutral, but it's more of a jewel tone.
Yeah.
And I also am like, I was privy to coral back in the day.
Yeah.
Like there's something about that like peachy pink that I absolutely love.
Dreamy. You know why you love it?
Why?
I can tell you why. Because in The Parent Trap,
Stop.
when you open up the mom's London home and their foyer is like this super fun kind of like burnt orange terracotta.
We must splice in a picture for our viewers.
Yes, I think that's why most of us gravitate towards that colors, because we're just trying to live in the Parent Trap house again.
Yeah, so I loved when they like announced that color. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. I love backdrops. This actually isn't a paint color, but it's a wallpaper. Surprising, here I am talking about wallpaper. It's a collab they did with Xander Donnelly, who is the creative director of Ash Hotels.
Okay.
Obviously, he has impeccable taste, but he came out with this line of wallpapers where they're very like celestial, almost Greek mythology oriented. And there's one that is like a wallpaper of stars, and then there's almost little baby cherubs.
Oh my God, cute.
It's so cute. And someday I will have that wallpaper. But I love Backdrop because they feel like they're the first kind of like truly modern brand that has paint that kind of is pushing boundaries, I think. And then also the wallpapers are just so fun and they're not super stuffy. And I just learned this. This is a fun fact. They are a baby company of Schumacher. They're owned by Schumacher.
I did see that on their website because I was thinking, like, who owns this brand?
Yeah.
Because I was like, is this a Benjamin Moore side project or something? But yeah, I saw that on their site literally 2 days ago.
Yeah. And they have peel and stick wallpaper.
Yes, they do.
For those that are renting, they have some really good peel and stick. So check them out.
Yeah, amazing. What about you?
So I swatched Parma Gray for my own apartment here, thinking that it might be the answer because I feel like I talked about this last episode where my apartment is pretty modern and the bones are modern, and I felt like a cool toned blue might actually work really well. But at the end of the day, it was a little too bright for me, the Parma Gray. I swatched a ton of blues because I was kind of lusting after a dusty cornflower. But at the end of the day, it just didn't mix well with my existing upholstery. So I also swatched Dead Salmon by Farrow and Ball, which is a really beautiful kind of like terracotta brownie pink. And then I also did Sulking Room Pink, which someday I will have a room that is Sulking Room Pink. That is honestly probably dating me because that's also like a very millennial thing to say. Is
no,
like
I love
pink.
Sulking Room Pink.
It's so moody and so pretty.
Me and my sister like went back and forth about painting the office in our old house that color for the longest time. We never painted it.
It's so pretty, but it is specific. And
it's hard to also like take the leap.
Yeah. Oh, totally. You know, even in Anthropology, we tried to make one of the cabinets, the fern cabinet. We were doing some color updates.
A classic.
And we tried to swatch like a Sulking Room Pink. It didn't work out, but it was a dream.
Yeah. We did the Mason cabinet in like a nudie pink and it was like fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like that nudie rosy pink it's kind of a millennial pink as well.
Totally.
But I'm like, are we just putting millennial in front of everything these days? Like, I don't know.
I mean, we're a giant demographic, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
With a lot of buying power and
disposable income.
And disposable income. So it's just going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, I love all of the olive green as well. I know we ended up going the more forest green in Mike's office, but I don't know. Olives are also having a moment. I don't know. I feel like that's a great one. The one that I've been having a hard time getting behind, and I know it's up and coming, is navy. What are your thoughts on navy?
So I like navy. And I think there are a lot of navies out there that work really well. One of my favorite navies is I think it's Oval Office Blue by Farrow and Ball. I did swatch that once upon a time and I thought that was really lovely, but I think it's got to be the right space for it. Yeah. And I'm not sure I would put it in a giant living space. I might put it in something that feels like a den. But I haven't really seen a ton of editorials where I love it. So I think I might actually feel a little mixed about it.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be coming back in upholstery. I mean, it's supposed to be coming back in apparel. I personally don't own anything navy. I don't know, a navy dress, or even Mike doesn't have a navy suit. I don't know. Me and navy have never really jived that much. And I actually can't determine why. Obviously I love jeans, but you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I feel like that's the one color that as jewel tones especially come back, it's been the one that I'm definitely holding back on.
So navy is a statement, and I want to know your thoughts on a statement wall. Would you ever do one? And for those listening, a statement wall is basically just choosing one wall in a room to do something different, and it can be a paint color or it can be a single wall with just wallpaper. Sam, tell me your thoughts.
Well, I'll tell you first that I've done a statement wall.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager.
We all have.
When I was a teenager, I convinced my mom to do a statement wall in my bedroom. I painted it like this bright fuchsia purple. I loved the color. I still find the color to be, I have like a dress in the color. I love that color purple. I love the color purple. Should it have been in a home? Should a wall ever been painted that color? Probably not. It still is that color. Thanks, Mom. Leaving up my statement wall, all of my hard work. So I have done it. Now I see it and I think it looks dated. I feel like a lot of house flips, they always are trying to do a statement wall in the dining room
or behind the
TV. Oh my God,
exactly.
And I think it looks so flip. I definitely think it's one of those things that's going to like timestamp a house or timestamp. I think a statement wallpaper wall definitely is way easier to do. I think you can see it a lot more these days. So it's really the statement paint color, and then sometimes they add like, you know, like the board and batten type of looking
Yeah.
thing, and I'm like, it looks I think it looks 10 years ago already.
I think it's very dated. I agree with you. I think what it does for me in a space is it just kind of stops the continuation of my eye. And I know that's the point sometimes with the statement wall, but I think that for me, it just makes a space feel less cohesive, and it's not for me.
Yeah.
I think go big or go home. If you're going to paint one wall, paint all of them. Or if you're going to do a wallpaper statement wall, you might as well wallpaper other things. I just think from a design perspective, it's just going to create more continuity if you shy away from the statement wall.
Exactly. I do like when I see like the wainscoting and then like they do like half of it in a dramatic color or in a wallpaper. I think that's a really easy way to do your statement wall without really doing it and doing it in a dated way. So that would be an easy way to update. Like there's definitely flexibility with it too.
I also think if you want a statement wall, then why not do some sort of gallery wall or a plate wall or something else that's artwork driven, because then you can always switch it out.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit more flexibility, and
again,
it showcases your personal
like,
style.
It's a big decision.
It's a huge decision.
I'm someone who I do all my painting myself. And it's a time suck, you know? It's a lot of work.
It is.
And so you got to love it.
You do.
Yeah. That was kind of a would you rather. So should we jump into our would you rathers?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Well, we actually kind of did it, our first one. Would you rather live with one bold, saturated accent wall forever or an all beige room you can never repaint?
My answer is an all beige room.
We're going all beige. Well, now we know that we both are all beige.
I really didn't think that the conversation would go this way. I thought we might disagree on some things, but we're aligned.
Well, I thought you were going to be like, oh, you haven't wallpapered anything? You haven't painted anything? I thought I was about to get like put up on the cross here.
I would never.
I don't know, like anthro, whatever.
I know. My anthro veins are...
Yeah, they pump with pattern.
They do. They pump with pattern and passion for pattern.
Exactly.
But, you know, when it comes to something really livable...
And you can put pattern everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather have the most stylish home that no one ever visits or a deeply mediocre home that is full of people?
This is like really hard, I think.
I think it's really hard.
Because deeply mediocre, because you still have to be there.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want my home full of people all the time. My like least favorite thing is like if we end up having a lot of people over unannounced and my house doesn't look perfect.
Yeah, that's
I have
painful.
one friend coming over today and I like literally spent my entire Friday night cleaning my house from top to bottom. Like we've been friends for 15 years. Like what does she care?
Your friend would love your house no matter
exactly,
what.
Exactly.
But you know.
Exactly. So I'm going to have to go with most stylish home no one ever visits.
Okay,
You'll see it on Instagram.
That's my answer too. And I was like, what does that say about me as a person that I would rather have a stylish home that no one visits, but I cannot live in a mediocre home that I don't love myself.
Yeah.
And I also love to have people over. I love to have gatherings, but I also love my peace. And I'm also going to choose a very stylish home that nobody ever comes to. But can my husband still live there with me?
I mean, I assume so, right?
Okay.
My sister can still come over.
Family can still come over.
Yeah. And my best friend, that's like basically family.
Yeah.
And her husband.
You'll just never have a giant party.
Yes, never have a giant party, which again sounds peaceful. Okay, would you rather buy a sofa you love that's totally wrong for the space or the right sofa you feel nothing about?
I think I'm going to go for the right sofa I feel nothing about, because I need it to be functional. And if it's right for the space and it's comfortable, but it's not something that I have an emotional reaction to, I think I would stick with the thing that feels more functional, which kind of goes against everything about my design ethos. Is like, if you have an emotional reaction to it, do it. But when it comes to like a large upholstery piece, it's got to be functional.
Yeah.
And I might not have a feeling about it, but maybe my partner does, and it's the sofa of his dreams. I don't know, but I think I'm going to go with the sofa that works for the space but feel nothing for. It still looks stylish, obviously.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's interesting because I had a sofa that was a little wrong for my space. I ordered a 10-foot sofa and they accidentally shipped me the 13-foot. I told you about
This is your
this.
Wayfair debacle. Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
We love that sofa. Was it too big for the space? Yeah. The room was shaped a little funny. So then the rug was too small for the sofa. But like, wow. Memories, time. Like, we still have the sofa. It's better for our new space. It
Mhm.
works much better.
Yeah.
But it was wrong for our old space. And it lived in Seattle for 3.5 years. So I can't actually, in good conscience, say I would make a different decision because
Yeah.
I made the decision to keep a sofa we loved, even though it was wrong for the space.
Okay.
So I'll admit to that.
And that's okay. So, my last would you rather is, would you rather your home look like it was decorated by an algorithm or like it was decorated entirely by your 8-year-old self?
Algorithm. My 8-year-old self was unhinged.
You know how unhinged my 8-year-old self was? My room was Looney Tunes.
That's
I
crazy.
loved the Looney Tunes.
But mine was horses. Like, my entire house would be full of horses.
But you are a horse girl.
I was a horse girl. Like, it would literally be horse stuff.
I love the equestrian life, though.
I mean, would my 8-year-old self pick like this elevated equestrian that's really
Would you
trending
have
right
Ralph
now?
Lauren equestrian,
Or
would
would
it
I have
be
like a
something
bed
else?
that looks like
like a squishmallow?
literally
horse,
exactly
something.
like My Little Ponies? You know what I mean? I had all the Barbie horses. I would have a mural of Spirit from that movie on my wall. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
8-year-old self couldn't be tamed.
Did you ever see that movie it's about horses, Two Bits and Pepper?
Yes.
Classic.
Like,
Classic
is there a
horse girl movie?
horse movie I hadn't seen? Oh my God. I read all these like horsey books. Like, I was a girl obsessed. And then I grew out of it. I hid it very well.
Yeah.
And then it was the main topic of my mom's speech at my wedding. Thanks, Mom. That secret was no longer safe. Now everyone knows I'm a retired horse girl.
And that's okay.
Yeah. It's trendy again. Like, I do
It is
think
trendy.
if I could decorate in this like equestrian aesthetic, okay.
It's the year of the horse.
8-year-old, go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cute. I've seen it done so
Yeah.
well so many times. Anthro has a bunch of stuff in that
Mhm.
equestrian vibe too. So if she did it tastefully, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
Would you rather explain your jute rug collection to every guest or never own a throw pillow again? This one's like pretty, like, this is like,
I think I would rather explain my jute rug collection because I love to talk about my jute rug collection because I have 2 of them. I have 2 of the same jute rugs in 2 rooms in my apartment because I love jute rugs. I think they're the most versatile rug you can get, and they're also incredibly affordable, and you can layer on top of them. I will die on the hill of jute rugs, and I actually welcome the opportunity to talk about them all the time. So I would choose that over never having another throw pillow.
I know my husband would want me to pick never having another throw pillow. Mike, I love you, but no.
We love our throw pillows.
I feel like men hate them. They're
Yeah.
like, what are these decorative pillows? Like,
Yeah,
what are these
They
pillows?
do. They don't understand.
I'm always putting our lumbar pillows back on our bed. And Mike's like,
Wait.
we just take them off every day. And like, Mike makes our bed, but he won't put the decorative pillows on. And then I'm like, on they go.
There's nothing I love more than a lumbar pillow.
Love
I
it.
actually have 3 of them coming
Mhm.
for multiple rooms for a bed because they're
I
just
love
so
them.
beautiful.
And they're so much easier to like throw on the bed. You don't have to like fluff them. You don't
Yep.
have to chop them.
Yep.
You don't have to do any of that. So I love them. I think they're very cute and they look so good on a bed.
Yeah.
But yes, so the jute rug collection, even though I don't have a jute rug, but you're really making me think I should get one for my
The
living
jute
room. I
rug.
hate the rug in my living room. It was bought in a moment of I need to furnish my house. I just
Yeah.
moved here and I couldn't find anything that I was obsessed with. So I just bought like a good, nice one from HomeSense that was
Yeah.
the right size because
Yeah.
I needed like a 12 by 9. So I'm in the market.
Yeah.
So maybe
A jute rug. This goes back to our last episode where we talked about our personal style. And I called out Mediterranean maximalism, which is basically just organic elements mixed with print and pattern and texture.
Yeah.
And I think that jute rugs just add a really nice organic foundation to any space. And it kind of helps any maximalist room feel a little less overwhelming because you're anchored in something that feels a little bit more earthy and organic.
Yeah. I mean, and for me, a lot of times I bring in color and pattern through my rugs. I'm
Yeah.
not a big color and pattern elsewhere. So that's another, it's like, okay, if I got a jute rug, then maybe I'd have more flexibility to give myself a little more breathing room in order
Yeah.
to do more and kind of see where my next stage takes me.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a wrap for the episode 2 of The Terrace. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
We are so excited for what this show can become. We want to do this for a really long time, and it feels surreal that it's finally here.
If you love this episode, please share with a friend who's truly design obsessed. That really is the best thing you can do for us right now.
Follow us on Instagram at @thestudio_terrace and tell us what your favorite paint color of the moment is and what you're painting your house with.
We'll see you back on The Terrace very soon.
Don't forget to bring the wine.